What's up, beautiful creators? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I think honestly this is the route that I want to take as far as like look wise. I'm really kind of liking this aesthetic. So I know in a lot of my videos I have completely different backgrounds, but I think I finally found the one that I like, and it's gonna be this one. I just think as an editor it kind of just shows who I am, and it's so clean. So I think for all of my talking head videos, this is it. But anyways, today I wanted to come to you guys to kind of just share with you all some things that I've been thinking about, just ways on finding inspiration. And so I wanted to come and talk to you guys about 5 different ways that I find inspiration in creating my storyboard for my films and my commercials. And these are like super practical. You guys probably already heard of these ways before, but honestly a lot of people do ask me, how do I find my inspiration? So I just felt, maybe I can kind of help people with that aspect. And so even though they're practical, even though you probably already do them, these are my 5 ways that I find inspiration for my films. So the first one is, of course, being outdoors. So for me, I'm a outdoorsy kind of person. I love being outdoors. I can have such a horrible day and I go outside and I just get fresh air and I'm just at the beach or whatever, and it just continues to motivate and gives me creativity, just soaking in life. And I just also feel like life is just this big backdrop, like this big backdrop of just B-roll. Like you could just be driving and see somebody walking. You could be driving and see a beautiful sign and seeing people at the beach, and all of that just kind of like sparks your creativity to want to create something. And so I just think that, of course, the number one would just have to be just being in your environment, being outdoors and just soaking it in, and just allowing that to just continue to allow you to Jesus. Sorry, I'm on like a main street, but yeah. Another thing about being outdoors is, for me, the biggest thing that I do is if I'm driving, because honestly, locations really spark my interest. I don't know about you, like, of course, seeing a shot or something just sparks my creativity, but when I see a location and I feel like it's a dope location, that just sparks my creativity times 100. Like I'll just be driving and I'll see a location, or I'll be somewhere in the palm trees, like look right, and I'm like, let me kind of like drop a pin, because this could be dope for B-roll, or this could be dope to shoot a film here. I like how the lighting is hitting at this location I'm at, and I'm just driving, or I'm out with friends and I see it and I stop, I'll take a picture, I'll drop a pin on my maps, and that really kind of helps me just have like a whole list of locations that could possibly work with whatever commercial or film that I might want to shoot. And because for me, locations spark my creativity, I might just see a location, and then from just finding a dope location, I already can create a full film or a full commercial just by finding a location. So definitely like being outdoors and just taking advantage, like take a second and take a picture. And that's why your phone is so important. Like, your phone it's always the best camera, is the camera that you have at all times, and we always have our phones. So just make sure you're utilizing that the best way you can. And honestly, it's in finding the inspiration just every day of how you can just document that on your phone. The second one is social media. So Instagram, Pinterest, all of those, like, they're really, really great. I think the number one thing for me when it comes to Instagram is the hashtags. I think ever since Instagram created like the hashtag tab, where you can just kind of type in something and just see all of the things that were like, within that particular category, is so great. So for instance, if there's places that I might research and I want to look and see what was done there, how I can utilize it, I'll just type in the name of the location and it automatically finds it, and it just shows me all these creative ways that what people may have done there. And then from there, like, it can spark my creativity. I also follow a photography tag, and it just shows me all these dope ways of how people light things, and like I think that's really, really cool. And of course with Pinterest, there's just a full board already where you can just create a storyboard. You just go in there, and I know I do photography as well, so there are certain things that can translate from photography to cinematography. So if there's certain things that I see on how it was lit, or just a shot that I think is beautiful and I can recreate that in the film world, like I really just create a full board with just all of my ideas and inspiration from that. So definitely utilizing social media to find that inspiration, following some of your favorite DPs and cinematographers and kind of seeing what they shot seeing what they shot on or how they shot. And I have a whole in your saved section on your Instagram, I've saved certain videos that I really, really like on there, to just that way I can go on there anytime that I need to. So definitely like taking advantage of that as well is very helpful. The third one I would say will be, of course, films and television. So for me, I'm really big on watching films and televisions just as much as everybody else, because that's how we find our inspiration already. But I think it didn't really hit me until I was watching Queen Sugar, which is directed by Ava DuVernay, she's one of my favorites. And I love the way she shoots. I love the way she lights. And there was a particular shot that, it was a film that I wanted to create, just kind of like a coming of age story, just based loosely off my life. And there was a shot that in my head, I just couldn't get out on paper. I knew exactly how I wanted to shoot it. And I was watching Queen Sugar, and they did that exact shot that I saw in my head. So I just paused it. I was watching on Hulu on my computer. I paused it and I just took a screen grab. And so on my computer, I have a folder of all these screen grabs that I've taken from like watching different shows as I edit on my computer, and I just take that screen grab. And so I have a whole folder that when the time comes and I need to create a storyboard or just find inspiration for the next film, I have that already saved for me. So I could show you guys, these are some of the photos that I've saved that are in like my little storyboard folder onto my computer. And so anytime that I'm ready to shoot that film, I just kind of have a rundown of the list of shots that I would like. So definitely, like, anytime you're watching a film, your favorite film or a TV show, and it's just a shot that you really, really like, always save that. Like that's always gonna help in the long run. Even if you're not shooting right now, but in a month you're like, I have a dope idea, you always have something to go back to. The fourth one will be YouTube. Now, I could have put YouTube in with social media, but I just think YouTube is just its own thing. But of course, going on there, typing in whatever you need, and even just being a filmmaker and just seeing how other filmmakers shoot, and what they're shooting. But also, like, there's been times where I've been hired by the client. It could be a client for a hair product, and it's a client and they want to do it similar to Shea Moisture. I will go on YouTube and go on Shea Moisture's YouTube page and see how they done their prior videos so that I can be on brand with the client, and just looking at that and seeing how that goes. Also, I love Dove commercials, so I was hired to do a commercial and I wanted to give a Dove feel. I love the colors and vibe that they give, and so I just kind of went to their some of the videos that I've saved on YouTube and kind of looked at that to gain inspiration from that and figure out, oh, this is kind of the color that I'm looking for, the color tone. So of course, YouTube, we're always on there. You're on there right now because you're looking at me. So definitely, make one of the folders, or you'll watch later or whatever. Create a private folder of all the videos that you like, all the short films that you might like, the commercials that you might like from Nike, Under Armour, or whoever, and just kind of always kind of go back to them. And that way, if you are trying to do spec commercials for Nike or whoever, you can be on brand as well. So this is really, the inspiration comes with just creating for yourself, creating specs for yourself to then get hired by these companies. But you have this folder, or you have this list of inspiration that these companies already provided you, and you can always know that you're on brand. So YouTube is always a good one. But honestly, my fifth one is my favorite one. I think it's more streamlined than a lot of these. And it is called iSpot.TV. Now, the reason why I like iSpot.TV, and I think I've been using it for like 3 or 4 years now. I first started using it when I was working for this candle company, and they were all, my boss would always be like, see how lush there's their commercials, because we used to do bath bombs. They'd be like, how can we, we need to figure out how to make it just as great as this, and things like that. So I will always have to go on iSpot and see less commercials, or YouTube. So iSpot and YouTube kind of work hand in hand, because the thing about iSpot is that you can't necessarily make a folder or anything like that, but you can kind of copy the title or the name and then find out on YouTube, because most likely these companies are also going to post on YouTube, and then you can kind of like go from there, from YouTube, and do what I said in the previous one, which is create a folder or take a screen grab of that. But the reason why I like iSpot is because you're actually seeing TV generated ads. So these are ads that are actually on television as we speak, and you can kind of gauge the value of where you would want your commercial or your film to be. just by seeing what's already out there on television, you know. So that, I think I just really like that aspect. And so I could just type in a commercial that I've saw on TV that I really liked, and I'll type in the company if it's a beer commercial, or like for instance NFL, we always, you know, for the Super Bowl, we would love looking at the Super Bowl commercials. So just going on iSpot.tv and typing in Super Bowl commercials and seeing all of the commercials that came out on television, in case I ever wanted to do a spec one or figure out how I can get my commercial on TV during the Super Bowl. So I really love iSpot. I think it's really dope to be able to kind of see where you can take your commercial and how you can kind of like put it on brand with these commercials that are already on television. That's really dope. And again, all of these kind of work hand in hand. I mean, you shouldn't use one over the other. Definitely use all of them. But these are the ways that I find my inspiration. Inspiration truly is all around us, and so you really just gotta be able to just be open to soaking it in, whether it's being outdoors, watching TV, you know, going on iSpots, being on Instagram. Like, there's ways to find inspiration from everywhere and learning how to tailor it for yourself. And so hopefully these work. I'm sure that you guys have probably already used a lot of these. Let me know your thoughts about which one is your favorite way or how you find inspiration. Definitely like this video if you thought it was helpful. Share with your friends, and if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, definitely subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly do appreciate all of you guys who take the time out to watch my videos. I really want them to mean something, and I'm just so appreciative. So thank you, and I'll see you guys very soon.